Hello students, welcome to the first lecture of class 11. Students, I am Neeraj. I am lecturer in chemistry. Students, before we start with the actual syllabus, let me tell you a few important things. First important thing is that you do not differentiate between the preparation for board exams and competitive exams. There is no difference in the preparation for board and competitive exams. The only difference is in the examination pattern. Syllabus is same, so the method of preparation should remain same. So that means please do not draw a line between board exams and competitive exams. दोनों एक ही syllabus पे चलते हैं और दोनों का सिर्फ difference क्या है, examination pattern का difference है. And second important thing, class 11 is a very important class because whatever you will study here or learn here will form the basis of all competitive exams, and whatever you will learn here will be applied in class 12 also. So students, without wasting any time, I'll start with the first unit of class 11 syllabus, and this is some basic concepts of chemistry. So in this unit we'll study about the basic concepts of chemistry. Now students, first important term here is chemistry. Students, ये chemistry है क्या, होता क्या है chemistry? So students, chemistry is a branch of science which deals with the study of composition, structure and properties of matter. So chemistry में आप क्या पढ़ते हो? आप किसी भी chemical substance का composition, structure and उसके properties पढ़ोगे. But students, all these aspects, which means composition, structure and properties of matter, they are better described in terms of atoms and molecules. That means all these aspects are better described or understood in terms of constituents of matter, and these constituents of matter are atoms and molecules. Students, that is why this chemistry is also called what? Science of atoms and molecules. Now one more thing students, chemistry also deals with the study of matter, changes matter undergoes with time. So chemistry में आपको ये सब भी study करना पड़ेगा that या पड़ता है that what are the changes matter undergoes under different conditions. And thirdly, chemistry also deals with the laws which govern these changes. So students, this is chemistry. So chemistry में आपको composition, structure and properties of matter को पढ़ना है. That means आपको atoms and molecules के बारे में पढ़ना है. Then chemistry में आपको ये पढ़ना है that how matter changes under different conditions and what are the laws which govern those changes. Now students, let me tell you first some importance or applications of chemistry. Students, chemistry is actually a main subject which binds other subjects like biology, physics, geography, geology. They all are connected with chemistry, and chemistry is also very important in our daily life. It has many industrial applications because many industries they manufacture chemical compounds, and these chemical compounds are then used in our daily life. Second, the important contribution of chemistry is in the supply of food. Now students, the food materials mainly contain carbohydrates, proteins, fats, lipids, etc. And all these compounds are what? They are chemicals. Now then, thirdly, chemistry has a contribution to better health and sanitation also. Students, like medicines हो गए या antiseptics, disinfectants, all these are what? They are chemical compounds. and we use these chemical compounds for what? Better health and sanitation. Now students, next important use of chemistry is in what? It has contributed towards increase in comforts, pleasure and luxuries also. Next use of chemistry is in the transportation and communication. How it contributes in transportation? Because look, generally like say buses, cars, scooters, they all run by using what? Fuels. And what are fuels? Fuels are organic compounds. They are generally hydrocarbons. And communication, for communication we use many like say mobile phones, and mobile phones they work with the use of what? Cells, electrochemical cells, batteries, and batteries are made up of many chemical substances. Then chemistry has also a very important application in war, because many explosives like trinitrotoluene, trinitrobenzene, they all are chemical compounds. And students, chemistry has a very important contribution towards atomic and nuclear energy, because whenever nuclear reactions take place, large amount of energy is released, and that energy can be used or can be converted into electrical energy. For that we use atomic or nuclear reactors. But students, let me tell you that chemistry में के सिर्फ applications ही नहीं है, उसके काफी drawbacks भी हैं. So there are some problems which are caused by chemistry. Like first we have that chemistry has a destructive use also, like these nuclear and atomic bombs. Now they are what? The destructive use of this nuclear reactions, because when the nuclear reactions becomes what? Uncontrollable, the energy released may lead to what? Explosion. Now then, second problem with chemistry is that like I've told you that chemical compounds, they are important in what? They are important for better health and sanitation. And for better health we use chemicals like antibiotics. But students, let me tell you, the excessive use of antibiotics is harmful. Then use of insecticides, pesticides also affects lives of birds, insects, aquatic fishes and also human beings. And also students, use of polymers such as polythene, and then chemical substances like chlorofluorocarbons which is used as refrigerant. Then there are many drugs. So all these are chemical compounds, but like since polythene is is non-biodegradable, so its long-term effects are highly dangerous. Chlorofluorocarbons, which is extensively used as refrigerant, depletes ozone layer. And then many drugs or many medicines, they are habit forming, so we may become addict of those chemicals. Now students, we'll move on to the first important topic, because chemistry is what? Study of matter, their composition, structure as well as their properties. So first student, what is matter? Now matter के बारे में students आपने earlier classes में भी या junior classes में भी पढ़ा होता है. So what is matter? Anything that occupies space and has mass, and the presence of which can be felt by any of our five senses, is called matter. And matter, look, has two classifications. First classification is physical classification, which is based on physical properties. And second, we have chemical classification, which is based on chemical composition of the matter. So students, first we will discuss physical classification of matter. Students, so first we have physical classification of matter. So as the name suggests, physical classification, so it is based on the physical state of matter. And physical state of matter depends on conditions of temperature and pressure. So students, depending upon conditions of temperature and pressure or physical state of matter, matter can be classified into three types: solid state, or simply solids, liquid state or liquids, and third we have gases. So we have three states of matter. Now the first state is called solid state. Now what is solid state, students? You have learned in junior classes also that what is solid state? Solid state is a state of matter with definite volume and definite shape. And students, a solid is characterized by its melting point, which is always higher than the room temperature. And common examples of solid, students, you have ice, which is the solid state of water, we say. And then we have this board is also in solid state, this marker is also in solid state. So we have many compounds which we use in our daily life, which exist in solid state. Now students, we have second state, liquid state. So what is liquid state? Students, liquid state is a state of matter which has definite volume, but no definite shape. ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स, आपको पता है एक लिक्विड का शेप कैसा होगा, जैसा कि कंटेनर का शेप है. सो उसका कोई शेप फिक्स नहीं होता है, दो इट हैज अ डेफिनेट वॉल्यूम. एंड स्टूडेंट्स, a liquid is characterized by a temperature known as boiling point, which is always higher than the room temperature. For example, students, we have, say, one example, water, and boiling point of water is what? 100 degrees Celsius, which is much higher than what? The room temperature. So common examples we have water, ethanol, carbon tetrachloride, then like acetic acid, they at room temperature exist as liquids. Now students, third state is gaseous state. So gaseous state is a state of matter which has neither definite volume nor definite shape. So इसका shape भी definite नहीं होता और volume भी definite नहीं होता, because gases tend to occupy the available space, and since they diffuse, they do not have any definite shape. And a gaseous substance has a melting point and boiling point, what? Much lower than the room temperature. That is why at room temperature they form what? They occur in gaseous state. So these are the three states on the basis of physical properties of matter. Now students, one important thing is that solid, liquid and gaseous states are interconvertible. So students, the three states of matter are interconvertible. For example, look, what do you mean by interconvertible? Means आप एक से दूसरे को convert कर सकते हो. For example, look, when we heat a solid, say above its melting point, it will change into the liquid state. And when we heat liquid state of matter, it will transform into vapors. Now student, यहाँ पर मैं बताना चाहूँगा vapors और gaseous state में एक difference होता है. क्या difference है इसको समझना. Like vapors जो होते हैं, they represent gaseous state of a substance which otherwise is liquid at room temperature. Generally water जैसे हम कहते हैं liquid है room temperature पे, but when it forms vapors हम कहते हैं कि वो gaseous state में turn हो गया. But there is a difference in vapor state and gaseous state. Vapors क्या होते हैं? They represent the gaseous state of a substance, but that substance otherwise is a liquid at room temperature. Now what are gases then? So student, a substance which exists in gaseous state at room temperature is called gas, not vapors. Is it clear now? Now, one more thing students, the three states of matter, solid, liquid and gaseous state, they can coexist at a particular temperature. That temperature is called triple point. Like for example, we say at 0 degrees Celsius, approximately, water, solid, exists in equilibrium with liquid state, which in turn exists in equilibrium with the vapors or the gaseous state. So we say at 0 degrees Celsius, the three states of matter, solid, liquid and gas, they can coexist. So that is why this temperature 0 degrees Celsius is called the triple point of water. Now students, next we have chemical classification of matter. Now this chemical classification of matter is based on composition of matter. And students, let me tell you, all kinds of matter can be classified further into two types: homogeneous and heterogeneous. So students, now we will discuss homogeneous and heterogeneous materials. So homogeneous material क्या होते हैं? Now students, homogeneous, homo means same, geneous means phase or family. So what is a homogeneous material? So students, a material having same composition and therefore identical properties throughout is called homogeneous material. And these materials occur in how many phases? One phase only. So any material which exists in one phase and has same composition throughout and same or identical properties throughout is called homogeneous material. Now students, second type of materials are called heterogeneous. Hetero means different. So these are materials or substances which have different compositions in different phases, which means these materials occur in more than one phase. So depending upon number of phases, materials can be homogeneous and heterogeneous. Now students, remember this, that all kinds of materials, चाहे फिर वो homogeneous हो या heterogeneous हो, they are made up of substances. So they are made up of substances. And students, a material that contains only one kind of particles, that is only one kind or one substance only, is called a pure substance. So that means a substance or a material can be pure as well as impure. Pure contains only one kind of particles. Now, while materials containing more than one substance are called what? They are called mixtures, or simply they are called impure substances. So therefore, chemically speaking, even substances which are homogeneous or heterogeneous can be what? They can be pure as well as impure, and impure substances are called mixtures. So students, first I will tell you about pure substances. So students, these pure substances are of two types. The first type of pure substance is element, and the second is compounds. So both elements and compounds are pure substances. Now first, what is an element? So, or what are elements? So students, an element is a simplest form of pure substance. So pure substance का सबसे simplest form को हम element बोलते हैं. So an element is a simplest form of pure substance with definite physical and chemical properties. So एक element का definite physical और chemical property होगा, and the most important thing is that an element can neither be broken into nor built from simpler substances by any physical or chemical methods. So overall, what is an element? अभी तक जितना मैंने आपको बताया, एक element क्या है? Element is the simplest form or the simplest type of pure substance which can neither be built from simpler substances nor can be broken into simpler substances by any physical or chemical method. Now, most important thing, that elements have what? Definite physical and chemical properties. So based on this, that is based on chemical and physical properties, elements can be further divided into three types: metals, non-metals and metalloids. But one important thing, since element is a pure form, students, all elements, that means, contain only one kind of particles, and these particles can be atoms or molecules. For example, look, when we say we have an element, say neon, or we have gold, we have silver, Now students, these are elements which are composed of atoms only, which are composed of atoms. But when we say we have element sulfur or we have phosphorus, so we know that sulfur is composed of sulfur molecules, S8, and phosphorus is made up of phosphorus molecules, that is P4. Similarly, chlorine is actually an element but is made up of chlorine molecules. So an element contains only one kind of particle, but these particles can be either atoms or molecules, and elements have three types: metals, non-metals and metalloids, depending upon their properties. So students, this is it for today. In next lecture we will discuss types of elements and then mixtures also. Thank you students.